So today at approximately 1:15 in the afternoon, members of the Minneapolis-Park Police Department responded to a sexual assault at Mueller Park, where we're standing right now. The officer located a male suspect in the alley behind us, the 2400 block between Bryant and Colfax Avenue. The suspect immediately fought with the officer during the arrest. It is believed that one round was probably fired from the officer's duty weapon while still in the holster. MPD officers quickly arrived and assisted with the arrest of the suspect. The officer was transported to Hennepin Healthcare for treatment of injuries sustained during this arrest. The suspect, out of an abundance of caution, was also transported to Hennepin Healthcare, although he had no apparent injuries. Once released from the hospital, the suspect will be booked at Hennepin County Jail. There were no other injuries associated with this incident that we know of. Due to the probability that a round was fired from the officer's gun, MPD will be conducting an independent investigation into this incident. The Park Police Department will provide a follow-up public information release, but any future questions related to the investigation should be referred to the Minneapolis Police Department's PIO. We are at the very preliminary stages of this investigation. I'd like to publicly thank the Minneapolis Police Department and Chief O'Hara for their immediate assistance that likely prevented our officer from sustaining greater injuries and for agreeing to conduct the criminal investigation. Chief O'Hara.
Thank you, Chief. Obviously, the investigation is in its preliminary stages, and clearly it appears that a police officer from the Minneapolis Park Police responded very courageously to a call for service here, and then attempted to make an arrest and engaged in a struggle with an individual while he was attempting to make that arrest. We believe during that struggle, it appears that the officer's weapon was discharged while it was still inside the holster, which would indicate a struggle, perhaps, to obtain control over the weapon at that time. The officer received a minor injury during this incident. It is not clear if he had been struck by gunfire from that. The suspect in this case was not injured, but has been transported to the hospital to be evaluated. And that's the preliminary information that I have that we can share at this time. Chief, if there's any questions.
Chief, was the suspect known to police?
The suspect is known to police and does have a history, yes.
How old is the suspect?
I don't have the exact age. We can get that for you. It is an adult male.
The officer, how many years of service?
It is a retired sergeant from the Minneapolis Police Department who has been with the Park Police for a number of years.
Yeah, he's been with the Park Police Department for 5 years and has well over 30 years of law enforcement service.
So did the officer get a gunshot wound, or just, you're not confirmed?
It's just not clear. He has an injury to his lower arm, and again, it appears that the weapon did discharge while it was inside the holster while they were struggling. He was struggling to make that arrest. It's not clear if that's perhaps a burn from muzzle flash or some sort of fragment, but they're at the hospital now doing x-rays to determine exactly what caused the injury.
During that struggle, do you know if it was the suspect that discharged the gun?
We can't say conclusively, so obviously that's under investigation. It does appear the weapon was holstered, and at least the initial reports at the time was there was some type of struggle which then caused the weapon to discharge while it was still holstered.
And anything more you can say about the nature of the call? This was for a sexual assault?
Yeah. Chief, if you want to.
So remarks in the initial call was that this adult suspect had been in the park inappropriately touching children.
Who did the call come from? Was it a 911 call of a parent? Or?
It was a 911 call, but again, we're at the very preliminary stages of this. This is an open and active criminal investigation, so I don't have additional comment on that.
And this was at around 1:15 that the call came in, but do you know for how long this incident of sexual assault was happening?
The officer arrived almost immediately, so from the time that the call was made to the time of the altercation was very short, minutes, and we don't believe that the assault that we were responding to went on for any great length of time.
So the incident started here, foot chase into the alley. Can you just kind of walk through?
No, the incident occurred in Mueller Park. When the officers arrived in the park, the suspect was not in the park, and the officer was able to locate the suspect in the alley behind us, just mid-block.
And anything more you can say about, like, are you divulging the identity of the suspect at this point?
We're not going to release that at this point. Hennepin County jail records are public information. I'm sure that you'll be able to find information from jail records. But again, as MPD is leading this investigation, future additional comment around potential charges would come from MPD.
We were just talking to a neighbor who pretty much said she doesn't even really understand the role of park police officers. Can you help us and the public understand what is it that you all do? And do you all carry the same types of gear and weapons and that sort of thing as any other MPD officer?
So for more than 140 years, there's been a park police department that has patrolled the parks across the city of Minneapolis. The Minneapolis parks are governed by the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. The Park and Recreation Board employs me as the park police chief, and I supervise a small force of police officers, approximately 35 officers, that provide policing across 185 parks in this city, more than 7,000 acres of parkland. Our officers respond to a wide variety of criminal incidents that occur in the park system. We train alongside Minneapolis police officers. We want public safety services to be seamless. We want an understanding of tactics. Our sworn police officers actually wear Minneapolis police uniforms. That's the result of the mayor having authority to appoint all police officers through the city charter. So although we're an independent agency, my boss is the superintendent of parks. The superintendent of parks answers to the elected board of the Minneapolis Park Commission. We work very closely with our public safety partners at the MPD. In fact, we could not do our job without the support and assistance of the Minneapolis Police Department, exactly for situations like this.
And sorry, I was forgetting if you said if that was Minneapolis or park officers who then responded after the injury and helped with arresting him.
So both Minneapolis and park police officers responded to an officer needs help call during the fight that took place. Minneapolis officers, I think, were first to arrive, followed very quickly by park officers.
Was there any struggle once they arrived?
Yeah, I mean, it took several officers to get this person under control.
How soon do you expect that officer to be released from the hospital, and when they do, just as the investigation unfolds, are they going to be taking a leave of absence, or what does that look like?
So, the officer's still under evaluation, so I don't know whether he'll be admitted for some length of time yet or not. The officer will be placed on paid administrative leave, which is a standard practice in these sorts of situations.
I have one last question. The suspect, someone said that that person is known to police to do in situations like he did today, or can you explain when you say is known to police for what?
He does have a criminal history that does include assault and some degree of criminal sexual contact in the past.
We heard from one neighbor that she thought he appeared to be either intoxicated or on drugs of some kind. Is there any indication of if he was high or something during this?
Yeah, I don't have specifics as to whether or not he was intoxicated or some other crisis happening, other than the behavior that was reported to us by the caller and victims in this case. I just think it's very clear. We're thankful for the caller being so alert to call 911 right away and provide information that then, obviously a courageous veteran officer was able to take action, and just thankfully this ended without anyone seriously hurt.
How are the parents doing?
I have not spoken to the parents. I don't know if the chief has further. I know our investigators were able to identify and make contact with at least one of them since the incident. It's my understanding that they were not here at the scene by the time all this had ended. The caller was here, but not the parents of the children. That's my understanding.
Do you have an idea of how many children were touched?
I do not. Just the initial report that we have, which is obviously concerning.
Park PD will be putting out a press release with any additional information that they're able to obtain between now and then. And then after that, any inquiries can come to our office. We'll take care of them.
Chief, can I just ask real quick, how does a guy like this continue to walk out in the streets? I mean, you're talking about he's got a history. It's a sexual history. It's an assaultive history.
Yeah.
Why is he out?
I just have the most basic information that was provided to me this afternoon while I was here, and obviously we're going to have to look into that further. I don't have information as far as the number of felony convictions and any convictions related to this type of behavior.
Thank you.
Thank you.